Taylor Swift? Can't we just go to this? Do we have to steal stuff?
Yes.
Hello and welcome to 2D Talk. I'm Jayse, back in the saddle for this non-spoiler review of Ocean's 8. Now everybody is comparing this film to the all-female Ghostbusters movie, which left a really bad taste in audiences and critics' mouths, and set back all-female cast in the mainstream in one solitary weekend. But Sandra Bullock and company are out to prove that this can actually work successfully and critically. But did they succeed? Is the movie worth the money, or can you just wait until it goes on streaming? Well, I can happily say yes, this movie is worth seeing in the cinema, and here is why. So the story's core is nice and simple, but that is the beauty of the Ocean's franchise. The heist seems simple at first, and then in execution it shows its true complexity. Basically, Debbie Ocean, played by Bullock, is newly out of prison and immediately up to her old tricks, and her next target is stealing Cartier's most prized necklace, the $150 million Toussaint, from the Met Gala. She, along with Cate Blanchett's Lou, gather a team of resourceful and accomplished allies to carry out her mission. So let's start with the cast. This is the most fundamental reason that this movie works. The collaboration of talent displayed here is brilliant and so wonderfully put together. But I wanted to delve a little deeper into that and talk about some of the standouts and some who are still great, but to a lesser degree. Let's start with best cast. Of course, I'm going to start with Ms. Bullock. I have been a massive fan of hers for a very long while. She has always seemed so nice and relatable. Plus, little tidbit, she won the Golden Apple Award back in 1995, which is an award granted by the Hollywood Women's Press Club for behaviour rather than performance. And she took home the People's Choice Award for Favourite Humanitarian in 2013. I'm gushing now, back to her performance. She was flawless as an ex-con with an axe to grind and an itch to scratch. Smart, suave and singularly dedicated. It was an absolutely brilliant performance as usual. Next is Awkwafina as Constance for her wacky delivery and at times comedic timing. Clearly written as the oddball of the group, but still with the ability to let her talents do the talking. Cate Blanchett, again, this is kind of biased, but I am in adoration of her work. And as per usual, her acting chops here are in full effect, but to a much more toned down form. The long-standing chemistry between her and Bullock's characters was organic and fully realised. In fact, there was a very strong vibe that Lou is a lesbian. Apparently, in one of the cuts of the film, the relationship between Debbie and Lou is actually recognised, but they obviously cut that out, but kept the incredibly strong undercurrents. Anne Hathaway really stood out here, and you know why? Because she decided to portray the character in the same way she has personally been perceived in Hollywood and in the media. Yes, her Daphne Kluger is spoilt, entitled and self-obsessed, but in this movie it really works on every level. And I have to put Rihanna in there. With the least amount of acting experience, you may expect her performance to be notably lesser, but it's not. She is really coming along as an actress, and I would like this role to open the door up a little bit more for her. Okay, so let's move on to cast members that were still fantastic, but didn't quite land for me like the others. I'll start with Helena Bonham Carter's Rose, who is funny at times, but the Irish accent that she was putting on was really jarring. Like when she first started to speak, I thought she was American, even though they'd said just moments before that she was Irish, and I was super confused. I didn't know what was happening. So that really didn't hit home for me, and that kind of jarred me when listening to her, unfortunately. Sarah Paulson, it was so nice to see her on the big screen, having been most familiar with her work on American Horror Story, and in that show she is an absolute powerhouse, but I was less aware of her than I'd come to expect. And I don't think it was the rest of the cast overshadowing her, I just think that the cast was so large that there was only so much time to go around. And I think Mindy Kaling also suffered the same problem. She's a gifted comedian, but not able to show this in the movie. So, the plot and execution, and also some other miscellaneous things. The hijinks and antics of the movie. There are some really good scams that Debbie Ocean pulls off the minute she is out of jail, and she does them so effortlessly and with such precision that it's amazing to watch. The planning of the heist as well was really good, and I've always liked the planning and execution stages of the Ocean movies, and this one does not disappoint. Plus, there's a really nice twist as always that was also really enjoyable. What I also wanted to mention is that this movie is not a woman power, men are bad, girl power all the way kind of movie. It does, however, make very clear why the team is all female, and it's believable and not forced in. Talking about men in the movie, the absence of George Clooney's Danny Ocean was felt, but in a really good way. I could tell that Debbie really loved her brother and that she was saddened to not be around during his last days. but they do leave the door open, suggesting that he may actually not be dead, which is a nice play on the writer's part. I, for one, would love to see Debbie and Danny Ocean work the ultimate score together. I mean, what an ensemble would that be? What is that, like Ocean's 19 or something? That would be really, really cool. Big. Civil War big. Infinity War big, but very cool. The movie was funny, but it's not a comedy, with Awkwafina and James Corden bringing most of the laughs. So, in conclusion guys, Ocean's 8 is a funny, entertaining heist movie that I would love to see continue into another trilogy and then a big team-up movie. I would love to meet other members of the Ocean's family, and the performances will all stand out, but as I said, some more than others. I would definitely suggest giving this movie a go in the cinema, as it is thoroughly worth it. Now, this movie is currently sitting on a 67% Rotten Tomatoes score and a 47% audience score, which, in my opinion, is a little bit too low for me, but I would urge you to go and check it out to make your own minds up. I'm scoring Ocean's 8 4 diamond necklaces out of 5. But guys, if you've seen the movie, what did you think? Comment below, let me know. If you haven't seen the movie, has this review kind of helped you make a decision? Please like, share, and of course subscribe. Don't forget to catch us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. You guys, take care of yourself. I'll see you later. Bye bye.